Hello, good yo-yo people. I'm Nate, and this is Let's Talk Yo-Yo. Today I am in the basement because it is snowing outside and it is officially cold here in Ohio. So on to today's review. Today I am reviewing an updated version of the Artemis by Unspoken Project. This is my review of the updated Artemis. This is the in the hand section. What does it actually feel like in the hand? Now, I actually did review the original Artemis, and Unspoken contacted me and said, hey, you want to review the updated one? I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. I like the look of it. I love the simplicity of the first colors there. The solid comes in this gray, and there's also a glossy red and black, as well as a like gold. Really nice and really classy. Unspoken likes to present like really beautiful yo-yos, and this is a really classy looking, pretty yo-yo. They have a lot of aesthetically pleasing yo-yos in their line already, but I would say that this by far gets the like just absolutely gorgeous, beautiful yo-yo that they have on their line. Really simple, really nice, and just kind of has that prestige sort of appeal to it. Really nice. So as far as the differences between the original one and this one, really the only big difference is the metal. The choice of metal. The specs are the same except for the weight, the mass of it itself, because they changed the 6061 aluminum to 7075. And what difference that metal makes is huge. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the playability on the string. There's a little bit of a misnomer sometimes with 7075 compared to 6061. It is a denser metal. But once you anodize a aluminum yo-yo, that anodization basically kind of equals everything out. And so as far as how like more protected it is against like dings and things like that, it's really not going to be much more of a barrier. It's going to hold up almost exactly like you would for a 6061 after it's been anodized. The big difference is that it's a denser metal, so you can do some really interesting things that you can't do with 6061. You can thin out the walls a little bit more and things like that before compromising the actual design of the yo-yo. It does add some mass as well to the actual overall yo-yo. So this one is a little bit heavier and just kind of has that little more denser feel. As far as the construction of it, it is kind of this wedge shape, V shape sort of hybrid thing. It's not quite as angled up on the wings here as a W shape would normally be. It's flattened out, so on the catch it's going to land really nice and flat, but opened up in the gap there like a V shape would. Really nice. It kind of curves in just a little bit, so it's not straight in. It kind of curves up, so it's going to reject a little bit more and take some of that friction off. So if you're doing more advanced like horizontal play and things like that, it's going to help keep the plane. Yeah, really nice. Has a decent amount of center weight as well, so it's not all just hub weight, which you can get on bimetals. It can be just so balanced. Well, that's not a bad thing, but it can be so rim weighted rather that it just doesn't have sort of enough power quite to it, right? So you need that balance. You do need a little bit of center weight on bimetals as well, or any heavily rim weighted yo-yo. So yeah, it's about 64 grams roughly, so really nice on the lighter, kind of leaning towards the lighter, not super light, but leaning towards the lighter side. And so you're really, if you were to take the rings off of this, the bimetal rings, the stainless steel rings, you would really have a fairly light yo-yo. So as much as you can, push that, you know, those stainless steel rings. I love those, the black ano on that looks really slick too, really, really classy. This would be a yo-yo that I would, you know, be wearing, you know, at a black tie event or something like that. Anyways, really cool. Let's go ahead and see how it plays on the string, and we'll talk about that. All right, let's go. All right, welcome back to the on the string section with the updated Artemis. And I forgot to mention in the hand section that one of the things in the original one that I had, the 6061 one, that if you look back on my other reviews, it seems like forever ago, and I feel like I've gotten maybe better at this. I don't know. Maybe more systematic. I don't know. But this one is blasted compared to that one, which was not. So it had more of a glossy feel to it. So it wasn't the best for finger grinds and things like that. This one, however, has that classic standard matte finish that you find on most Unspokens. So really nice, and that profile also is really nice for balanced, finger grinds as well. And it's bimetal, so it's really well balanced. Let's check a little bit more of the stability. Oh, here we go. If I can do it with a gyroscopic flop. Really nice and controlled. Really nice. Yeah, it's overall, I mean, this is a very commanding yo-yo. I don't really feel like I'm losing control of it. It's a really nice 64 sort of gram weight. It's right there in the money spot for this yo-yo. Not too heavy, not too light. I feel like it's just gonna be able to hit everything you want. Man, it's really got a nice gap on there too. Oops. This ceiling's a little bit shorter, so I'll not be able to do full Eli hops, but we'll show you. Oh, I can just kind of put my arms down a little bit, but yeah, it's super easy to hit that gap. It's just so open, very performance-driven gap. It fell down a little bit there, but that was mostly because of pulling my elbows down. It's very comfortable in the hand on the catch. It hits nice and flat. I'm not really ever feeling like, even on a hard spin, it's not bad at all. Those edges are rounded off. So yeah, let's go ahead and do a couple of regens. It's not amazing. You have to kind of control it a little bit more. And that might be on me a little bit, but W shapes aren't always the best for regens. I kind of prefer organics for regens, to be honest. Let's go ahead and throw one of my tricks, and then we will have some last minute remarks. Yeah, I really like the Artemis. I think it was really smart to update it. It's been a long time, that they were kind of probably getting frustrated. I don't know all the details, but I do know when companies tend to sometimes get frustrated with the design, and they're maybe working with a hiccup, maybe with it could be with a machine shop even, or whatever it might be, or just a design that they can't quite get just right, they oftentimes give up on it, right? I mean, that's fine. Move on to a new project, kind of scratch it. I'm glad they didn't do that with this one, though. I'm glad they kept pushing for it and thought about some problem solving. Well, okay, this is a really good design. It's a really cool yo-yo. The other 6061 version was great. It was a good yo-yo. But to update it and just say, okay, here's a problem. Let's solve it with just changing out the metal. And I'm sure there's some other things involved there too, but that really certainly changed up the design. And I really enjoy this one a little bit better. It has a little bit more heft to it, a little bit more just kind of commanding feel. And a little bit longer spin times, just has a little more power, right? So really enjoy the Artemis by Unspoken Project, and that's gonna do it for my review. And as usual, good day and good yo-yo.